Hey, welcome back, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in and check out your boy, P Farm, thinking right out here in the lab, in the book, doing what I do for you. I got more good stuff for you coming up, so let's go. I'm ready. Rightisms, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in the story for life. I give you life lessons. You tune in to receive them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going, so let's do what we do. Right thinking mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission, that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to, know thyself. So you see where we're going with this. So let's get there together and I ask the question. Do you know you? You will when I'm through. That's my mission. A person who knows not, and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself. And to my yacht, be true. I'm finishing up on the first lesson of, we in the book again, Mysteries of Isis. This one is titled, Right Thinkers, let's talk about how spiritual realization is wisdom at the mythical level. That means you've reached the level of what? Know thyself, or we call it nihas. Let's talk about how you can make that happen. Watch this. The true wisdom of yoga and the initiatic science brings insight to all religions. Why? Because it leads to an understanding. That's the goal right there. Not a belief, but an understanding of what? The ideas upon which the religious symbols are really based. When these references are correctly understood, right there, the religious practitioner, the teacher, priest, or whatever you want to call them, saint or sage, is able to move from what? From the ritualistic to the mythological level of what? Religion, to what? The metaphysical level, to bring it to life, to practice it, to have your experience. That's the goal for religion, for y'all to do just that. And at this level, all religions are equal, if perfected the way it's intended. Why? Because at this level, it's transcendent of all rituals and mythologies, meaning all of the names and forms given to the Supreme Being are unified at the metaphysical level. They all become one. Simple as that. So what you believe, what he believes, don't make a difference. It's still one. Okay. Now, we're going to talk about the religious mythologies of various cultures, what they believe, how they think. And then you got the religious rituals and the traditions that they practice that should lead them to what? The metaphysical, mystical level. We call it the mystical experience. If you're religious, y'all call it blissed out. Y'all call it Christhood, okay? Born again, anointed, whatever. But you have to experience it for yourself, but it's things that you have to do to make that happen. That's the difference right there. Let's start with religious mythologies. All religions have stories. Mythology, again. A lot of people take the mythology, the stories of religion to be literal. That's a problem. And y'all people who write the book should tell them that from the beginning. Egypt didn't have you thinking these people really existed. No, these mythology. Okay, allegorical people. Okay, we manifest them, we manufacture them to a purpose of teaching, to stain the brain consciousness. That's the purpose of rituals. First the story, then the practice of the ritual. So let's start first. Stories of God. Okay, rituals from various cultures, and everybody got their own concept. Everybody got a story of God and the creation with different names and forms. Again, no problem. Pictures, representations of the divine and human or zoomorphic symbolic forms. Everybody been doing. The first sign of God was the dot, the circle dot. Moving on. So it's not God of face. No, he's not a person. We give him those things, okay, to teach, to understand, to get the point across. And now, second level, your religious rituals, the tradition that y'all follow. Go to church every Sunday, practice on the first Sunday, the Eucharist, or y'all call it the communion, all that. But that's all, and that's rituals. That's fine. The Jews practice their rituals behind closed doors. You don't know what they do. It ain't none of your business. I ain't got a problem with that, okay? But they do what their traditions say, and they follow to the law. Moving on. Christians, a little different. Now, when you do these two things, know the story, get the story, practice and understand. Now, your cumulative exercise, meaning practicing, related to the myths, which lead your mind to contemplate and think about God. Y'all call him Christ, Jesus, whatever, but it's all about God. All religions are based to get you to connect with God. That's why I have respect for them. Don't practice them while they don't really know what they're doing at certain points, so I don't have to get involved with that. So I just let them be. Moving on. Third level. This is what right thinking philosophy's goal is, to get all my right thinkers right here. For y'all Christians, this is the goal also for y'all, so it's no different. That's what we become equal at this level. Watch this. The Supreme Being is now totally understood as what? The transient of all names and forms. Regardless of what they culture, no matter what they call them, it's all the same one. And that is the source of all objects and people and the objects of all venerations. At this level, there is your personal experience with the divine. I should drop the pin on that, because that's the goal. That's my purpose for being here for you on a day-to-day basis, to get you to reach that level. It ain't religion, but it's a philosophy that you can practice and master for yourself and reach that same level for yourself to have your God experience. You ain't got to go to church for that. I told my pastor when I came to church to fellowship, I'm not here looking for God. I know God. I'm coming here to fellowship with y'all like-minded people who claim to know God. So that's why I hang out with them. Moving on. But now it's a yogic perspective, and the view of God that we use is transcendent and of gender, meaning it has male and female. We already know that. They call Haru, the spirit, the great he, she. Krishna, half woman, half man. So it's always been understood, okay? God has got both in him, to produce and to have. Moving on, we gave that lesson a long time ago. I'm so past that. That's what I consider, like Holmes said to us, as elementary. We way past that, okay? But they knew that the gender of God was male and female, and transcendent of the name and the form. Well, at the same time, what? All-encompassing. And all names and forms go to that same entity. No matter what you call it, it's still the same entity. Understand that, please? And as stated in the Egyptian yoga, the philosophy of enlightenment, the danger which many religions have fallen victim to, again, is what? The personification of the idea of the Supreme Being. This personification of many religions, watch this, have given people a concrete image of the divine, which many have come to believe is what? To be true. That face, correct, they believe it to be true, correct, and actual name and form of God. They believe. They don't know. They believe. But when this concept is understood incorrectly, watch this, and that's what's happened. When understood incorrectly, this criticized view serves to focus what? Your narrow mind on the symbol itself, while ignoring Again, the transient idea behind the symbol, in a strict sense, any veneration of a picture or a symbol of the divine as itself being God is idolatry. We understand that. Watch this. But the belief that the appearance of the divine is known through what? A particular image is the true definition of idolatry right there. Because the divine, let's go, stay with me, being all that exists, encompasses all appearances, that which supports them, and therefore that which transcends them as well. The word idolatry is defined as, watch this, the worship of idols, blind admiration or devotion to just fictitious God that we're giving to you. Okay? Mystical philosophy demands that any image of God be seen, understand this clearly, as an outer symbol which is only used to what? Help the mind until it is ready to transcend the symbol itself. That's why. And that's why it's used the way we use it. This is why there are many symbols for divine in ancient Egyptian and Indian religious iconographs. We use them to use examples of God to express him, not to show that's him. We use the flag, use the dot, a whole lot of symbols for God. But each symbol, again, watch this. Each symbol and myth is meant because it carries with it a different aspect of a view of the divine, which is God, which helps you, the aspirant, to better understand the nature of God. Again, the divine. However, it's always a however, if the images themselves are worship, that's the person who's doing it for. Why? Because you're missing the point. Is worship as actual divine? Things or actual images of divine? If the worshiper believes this is the way God appears in reality and has no regard for their deeper and mystical meaning, the true understanding, or, watch this, for any other symbol from other cultures, then this form of practice is to be considered, you ready? An intensified form of idolatry. I ain't going there. In order to experience, right here, this is the part. In order to experience your oneness with the divine, you will need to transcend your what? Your ideas. Change your views that God is an entity who exists somewhere separate from you in some part of the universe. Heaven. Oh, God's in heaven. Gotta relax. Gotta take a deep breath on that one. Again, that's a belief. And when somebody have a belief, that means they're ignorant. They ain't gonna admit to it, but that's what belief means. I don't know, but I believe it. I don't know it. I believe it. That's ignorance. You can get God information straight from God. You do the things that make that happen. You'll know for yourself, and he'll let you know for himself. Well done, my good, faithful servant. When you live in earnest and worship and do the things, you'll get that on a daily basis. You ain't got to get it when you die. That's the kick of that nonsense. Like my man, Reverend Ike, I don't want my pie in the sky after I die. I want my heaven right here on earth, just like y'all. That's the right thing, because he's the original right thing. I love his concepts. Watch this. He knew God. He knew the concept. And watch this. When you also need, in order for you to change, okay, you will need to transcend your ideas that God is an entity who exists somewhere separate from you in some part of the universe. Okay. You also need to be able to what? Transcend the idea that God has what? One particular name, one particular religion, one particular son, and one particular form. All wrong, all ignorant. You can believe that, but that don't make it right. This idea is given to the novices, okay, on what? Spiritual path in order to engender in them what? To sense that there's something beyond your mundane world, what you call time and space of human existence. There's something else going on, and you ain't figured that part out yet. We need to go back and start all over from scratch. But however, it must be transcended. That means changed. That means elevated as one becomes what? Advanced in order for your mystical experience to occur. You have to do it. You have to make it happen. The Kundalini serpent won't rise unless you do something righteous, do something good. That's how it's done. It'll happen automatically, whether you know right thinking, whether you believe it or not. If you live righteous and you do right, the serpent's going to rise. Okay? Just the fact that at least you know. Now, I'm giving you a heads up, teach you how to do it. Well, one more phrase, one more paragraph. Yeah, I got one more paragraph to go. We good. Watch this. Now, the universe is composed of varying degrees of subtle and gross elements. We already know that. Physics got that way past that. But that which is subtle, that permeates what is gross, and the mind and the senses permeate the body. As above, so below. And your body and your mind, watch this, are in reality permeated by what? The spirit that's in it. And guess what? That spirit, that's God. The spirit is not only all around you and everything. No. Oh, I got a good one for you. Watch this. Not only all around you, interpreting all things, okay? Penetrating all things, excuse me. But God is your ultimate reality. That's beyond your body, beyond your emotions, your feelings, your senses, your perceptions, and even your thoughts. That's the highest level. The high God, okay, all that, yeah, that's the head, that's up here, the temple, which is between, not made by human hands. That's where God dwells in your mind. So it's all mental, psychologically. Okay, let me wrap it up. The Supreme Being is beyond classification by humans, okay, and beyond the understanding which a human mind can comprehend. However, there's always a however, you must train your mind to follow the logic of your yoga philosophy, whatever you choose. Why? Because it will lead you to understand the true essence of the divine at an indirect level, meaning you will have your own experience, you will have your own testimony, you will have your own reason and purpose to do the right thing now. That's why. And through symbols, and then you will now be able to have, you ready? Your personal relationship experience with the divine at the transcendental level, aka you have gained nihas. You reached the highest level of spiritual enlightenment. You reached the 7th round on the chakra level. You know thyself. That's the level of human beings, the highest level you can obtain. And it ain't hard to do. I mean, it ain't, but yeah, it's doable. Oh, no, it's doable. Moving on. I did it. Wrapping it up for you. Here we go. And I don't think myself no better than nobody else. And with the yoga and the mystical philosophy practice will provide a what? A positive model for you. If you follow the tenets, follow the teachings, that's a positive model. Watch this. And looking at a map is not the same as actually what? Going on the trip. Doing it, manifesting it, which the map outlines, okay, referring to the experiences. However, the map is very useful in what? Helping you arrive at that proper destination. Symbols are like maps, which can lead you to your own personal experience of what? Spiritual realization. Ding, 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 ding. Once you realize that the spiritual and the physical, you are one and the same, you reach that level of nihas. And there should not be understood as absolute realities. Why? Because it's also transient until you pass on out of this physical life, and then your spirit will go back to whence it came. It won't reincarnate. That's the goal. That's the mission. And that's the lesson right there. Just hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got it. Again, in closing, may y'all live to be 100. Me, 100 minus that day. So I never know that you all passed away. But guess what? I'll be right back.